This is a big week for the United States and the Security Council resolution that is supposed to push forward some sort of a stabilization force in Gaza. The United States, got an agreement to end the war in Gaza back there on October 8th. On October 13th, the ceasefire started. It's done a great job for a month. All the hostages came home, the living ones. There were 48 total hostages, 20 of them alive. All but 3 of them, I think, are now back in Israel. So that's really good. The Gaza Strip needs a lot of reconstruction. It needs international force. It needs to have disarmament, and the messaging from Jerusalem is not always consistent on that. Israel's defense minister said on November 16th that basically Israel wants to dig up and find all the tunnels in Gaza. Well, how's it going to do that in the part of Gaza that's still run by Hamas? Israel says that the international force is going to need to disarm Hamas. Well, that's going to be a difficult challenge. And I think Israel's prime minister has said, either the hard way or the easy way or something like that in terms of comments about disarmament. So there's a lot of question marks. Even if the U.S. gets the Security Council backing and even if it gets the mandate, what about the actual A, B, C, D of the actual international force? Who's going to send the troops? What rules of engagement do they have? How does it work? It does seem that having countries that are Muslim, like Indonesia, or send troops is a good one. Countries that are not seen as either on either side, that they will be more amenable somehow to doing the heavy lifting there. Great. But we all know, from peacekeeping missions in the past, going back to places like Somalia, it's not easy, and things can go wrong really quickly. So there's a lot of question marks, a lot of ins and outs, and I think in the end of the day, it's also just not entirely clear. Jerusalem seems a bit ambivalent on what comes next, which having the buy-in from Jerusalem is going to be super important, and having all these ducks in the same row. So I think we'll have to see how the Security Council resolution shakes out, and if everyone can kind of get in line, and whether or not the other countries like Egypt or Turkey or the UAE or Qatar or so many different chefs involved in this cooking experiment, whether they can kind of get along on this. And at the end of the day, the people of Gaza require support. We're talking 2 million people, and they're now sitting in the muck and the rain because of the first winter storm that has struck the region. So, they obviously need more than just words.